Oh, welcome, Bourbon Quest. It's your host, Bourbon Steve. Hey, I want to thank you all for subscribing, liking the channel, all your comments. I've gotten a bunch of great comments, especially this week. Wow. No, I really appreciate it. Obviously, we just wrapped up doing our top 10 whiskeys of the year. Had a few little technical and editing issues just because of the length of the video. We started out with 28 with 7 flights of 4, top 2 from each flight moved on, and then those 14 then were blinded using a scoring system. So if you haven't already done so, go back and watch it. I gotta go back and watch it myself because that's a lot. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the fall is, well, the whole year's bringing you tons of content, but you know, we start off with September being National Bourbon Heritage Month. October's okay, and then right into that we get into come December, the Advent calendar, and right after Christmas, doing the top 10 whiskeys of the year, flighting them out, giving you good reviews, honest opinions, and then again, I appreciate all your comments. But anyways, that's over, that's done with, and then we got more things coming because right now, tonight, we're starting. It is, today's January the 1st when I'm filming this. This will probably go up on the 2nd or whatever. But, yeah. So, we go right in from the Advent calendar to the top 10 whiskeys in the year. And then some people, I don't know why, do January dry month. Hell no, not here on Bourbon Quest. We do January rye month, which I appreciate because, as you know, if you've watched the channel for any length of time, I'm not a huge rye guy. I probably got like 20, 25 bottles of different ryes, but January, we dedicate to ryes. Now, that's not to say we won't drink any bourbons in January. We will. And we get some bottles to pop. I've got literally like at least 2, 3, maybe more fresh cork pops, bottles I got just at the end of the year. Even though they were released technically in 2022, I didn't get them till late, so they'll go into 2023. We'll be cracking those. So that's why not only do you want to subscribe, that's why you want to ring that bell for notification, because you don't want to miss out with some of these special bottles that I've gotten in the last couple of weeks that didn't make it in time for 2022. So they'll get pushed off into 2023. But anyways, like I said, it's January rye month here on Bourbon Quest. I'm not a big rye guy, but let's get right to it. So we're going to start off. I can't drink much of this because there's not much left. And I need to do a special video, I guess soon before this runs out, of getting the whole Jack Daniel's single barrel family together. Because I know we got this, we got Coy Hill, we got Eric Church, we got Heritage, we got single barrel rye, your single barrel store picks, your single barrel proof. I mean, we got a freaking probably like 10 different single barrel expressions that we need to get the family together, because I'm a huge Jack Daniel's fan. Obviously being here in Knoxville, Tennessee, 2.5 hours away from Lynchburg. That's what I was raised on, Jack Daniel's. It's what I drank in college. And I know some of you don't like Jack Daniel's, and I get it, which I still love Old Number 7, but I get it. Because that's what I drank in college, that's what I was raised on, being a Tennessee guy, blah, 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 blah. And I still appreciate Old Number 7, but I can understand why some people don't. But man, even though I like Old Number 7, their freaking other stuff is amazing, bro. Like, I think they kill it for special releases going back Yeah, the funny thing is that I'm a Tennessee Squire, which is an exclusive club for Jack Daniel lovers. The only way to be a Squire is to be a nominated. I'd be nominated by a Squire, and my nomination I think came in like I think it was 2003, somewhere around there, give or take a year. But I actually got my nomination from none other than, gosh dang it, I want to mess it up. Jimmy Bedford. Did I say that right? It's been so long ago. Oh, I just want to double check, make sure I got Jimmy's name right. It's Bedford, right? Yeah, Jimmy Bedford. So, back when I was a financial advisor and stockbroker, we were doing a baby back and Jack night, and yeah, we had no clue. I guess he got word from a distributor or whatever. Anyways, he showed up at the event. We had like 100 clients there or whatever. I'm sitting at a table with about 16 other people. Jimmy joins my table, and we get to spend like 2 hours together, eating like Jack Daniel's, barbecue ribs and yada yada yada, and plus their. But anyways, Jimmy was such a personable guy. I really enjoyed meeting him, and that's who I got my Tennessee Squire nomination from, was from Jimmy Bedford, and he did a lot of innovative things, but then I think Jeff Arnett even took it to another level, and then now I think Chris Fletcher, being a younger generation, but his roots date back to, I think it's his grandfather or great grandfather was a master distiller at Old Forester. Anyways, they're just crushing it. So I get it if you don't like Old Number 7, but don't sleep on the rest of this. Anyways, I'm rambling. Need to stay hydrated. I get excited. Alright, again, thanks for subscribing. Make sure you ring that bell, because we're going to have a bunch of stuff going on in January. And then February, I turn 50. There'll be some more great things. And then we get into Mass Madness in March. Dear Lord, it's going to be another great year. And thanks to you. Alright, so this is probably this Jack Daniel's single barrel special release barrel proof rye, coming in at 132.6 proof. It's probably the best. Yeah, well, it is. It's the best damn rye I've ever had. And it's been a while since I've had it. I ain't got much left of it, but it's January rye month, so we're going to take at least a little pour. We got to save some for when we get the family together. All right. Oh, can't wait. Man, it's like, and I'm not a big rye guy, but this is like the perfect amount of mint and pine, bacon spice, and then you get that caramel banana. Man, this is, the nose is so beautiful on this. Best rye, well, we'll find out. Let's see if I still think so. Best rye whiskey I've ever had. Yeah, I mean, at 132 proof, you get that spice, you get that mouthfeel, you get that tingling of mint and pine. I mean, I swear to God, I hope they do this again. I hope it's not a one and doneer. I mean, I don't expect it every year, but I think I've said this before on some other what else did I say it on? Maybe it was I think I said it on the Coy Hill. Hey, I know you're not going to be able to put this out at this quality and this level every year, but if I can get this every 5 years, like I said, I'm about to turn 50. I plan to make it to 100. I'm shooting for 150. But if I make it to 100 and I get this every 5 years, that's 10 more times I get to experience that, bro. Alright. Come on, Chris Fletcher. Bring this single barrel proof strength rye to us again. Because It's amazing. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Oh, man, I want to drink so much more of that right now, but as you can see, I have very little left. So we got to save that for when we get the family together. All right, remember, stay hydrated, my friends. And then, honestly, probably the second best rye I ever had was the Old Forester barrel strength, single barrel barrel strength rye. Both of those are obviously Brown Forman, so I think there's a trend going on there. This is 128.3 proof. This is back when Jackie was there. I wish she was still there. A little bit more hefty pour on that because we got a little bit more of it than the Jack Daniels one, but cheers, Bourbon Quest. Oh. Again, super delicious. Really heavy on the mint, touch of pine, black pepper, obviously baking spice. I mean, it's solid. It's great. It's not Jack Daniels, but it's super delicious. Especially if you're a rye person, you're gonna love it. And then I think, I don't know where I'm going with this. I think that there's a lot of new things going on in rye, and I'm glad rye is making a resurgence, and I'm enjoying my rye quest along with my bourbon quest. I'm still never going to be a rye guy like I am a bourbon guy, but I appreciate it. I enjoy it, especially on the ones I have in front of me tonight and others. And there's some more I'm wanting to get. Let me know. Those are my two favorite ryes. I'll kind of even continue to rank these down the road. Obviously, these other ones are some of my favorites, and I've not had a huge experience with rye, but these are the ones I like. These are the ones I enjoy. These are the ones I can appreciate. But let me know if you're more of a rye lover. What are your go-to ryes? What's your favorite rye? What's your best value rye? What's your greatest rye of all time? Just leave a comment. Let me know, because it's something I'm a little bit less experienced in than I am the bourbon. But this is Old Forester single barrel strength rye. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Hell yeah. That's so good. All right. So then I think, and I'm not doing these blind, I'm just giving you, so I think my next favorite is probably the Russell's Reserve single barrel non-chill filtered rye whiskey, 104 proof. And you never see the other two, and I think you rarely see this. But yeah, it's been a while since I've had this as well. I don't drink a lot of rye. But hey, I'm in favor of all things Russell's. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Man, I get a lot more sweetness on that, more bourbon notes than I do rye notes, to be honest. Which tends to maybe think this is a barely legal rye. I mean, there's rye, mint, and pine, but nothing like the other two. Obviously a little bit lower proof as well, but super delicious on the nose. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Yeah, that's pretty damn delicious. I mean, sweet. You'll definitely get that caramel, vanilla, and then that baking spice, that mint, that pine. I mean, that's freaking fantastic. I actually like some low-level mom and pop shop, because I haven't seen this in a while. I saw one there this was probably like 6 months ago. It was collecting dust. It must have been there for a while. and it's not cheap, but it was. I mean, when I say it's not cheap, it's probably like $69, right around, give or take 10, either way. And this low level mom and pop shop, their probably average customer spends 25 or less dollars on a bottle, so that's why it was collecting dust. And and I hadn't seen one in a while. I went back a week later to see if it was still there, which it was. I knew it would be, so I picked it up. And then I recently, at one of my favorite liquor stores here locally, saw it again, so I plan to go pick another one of these up, like either this week or next week, something like that. But yeah, the first two are impossible to find, especially at this point. They were limited releases. This, I think, in my area, it's not readily available. Like I said, I got one more. I'm picking up another one soon. It's that good. But then, the stuff that you do see, let's go to, stay hydrated, my friends. Let's go to Rendezvous. High West Rendezvous Rye. Freaking fantastic. It's probably my favorite rye that you could readily find, which is what, well, we're going to get to the Midwinter's Night Dram in a minute, but the Rendezvous rye is what they start with on Midwinter's Night. They take the Rendezvous rye and then finish in 20 port barrels or some shit like that. Yeah. But no, the Rendezvous, now, some people like the High West double rye. Not for Bourbon Steve. That's 95% rye. That's like a freaking pine tree. I can't. But the Rendezvous, freaking fantastic. So that's what we have here is the Rendezvous. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Very good. Not as good as the Russells, in my opinion. A little bit more mint forward, a little bit more pine forward. But, yeah, baking spice, pepper. You know what? I got a little bit of strawberry on the middle to the back of that. I don't know if I've ever said strawberry before on a bourbon or a rye, but I do. I get a little bit of strawberry on the middle to the back of that. That's nice. Yeah, there's that mint and then there's that strawberry. That even makes me like it more. Oh, alright, so stay hydrated. Then next, let's put a little water in this. We've done so much lately, we're running out of glassware. We gotta do dishes. Stay hydrated. Q, are you around here anywhere? Alright, so probably, yeah, my next favorite is the Willett Rye, which I think we got a whole month to get through. I'm just giving you some of my favorites. I couldn't do them all tonight. Like Michter's Rye is probably up there. Obviously Pikesville. I should have brought Pikesville out. I just had killed one not recently, and I didn't want to do a uncorking tonight. And I killed one a couple weeks ago, and then I recently got one, which now is the only one I have. Anyways, so Willett Rye. I mean, more sweet, more soft. Actually, more bourbon on the nose than the others, which is probably one of the reasons I like it. I think it's probably a barely legal rye. But anyways, cheers, Bourbon Quest. That's pretty fucking good. I mean, what's this? They're like, I think they're small batches. Yeah, this one's one of the higher proofs that I think that I've seen. This is a 111.2. They do vary in proofs based on the batch. This is 111.2. It's, I mean, it's freaking amazing. I mean, that's awesome. And you know, if I say it's an awesome rye, not being a rye guy, you can take that shit to the bank. And then probably like outside, I mean, Jack Daniels and Old Forester are impossible to get. And then I guess the last two are probably your only two allocated ryes that I know of. That being Sazerac rye, which is Buffalo Trace, because we all know everything from Buffalo Trace is allocated. I think it's good. I think it's solid. I think it's way too much hype, mainly because it's Buffalo Trace, but it is good. Let's find out. Yeah, I think it's, again, a barely legal rye. Comes off super sweet. Nose is more like a bourbon than a rye. Vanilla, caramel, apple. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. But mighty fine. Minty, delicious, refreshing. Touch of pine, caramel, vanilla. What's the proof on that? I don't think it's very much. Yeah, 90 proof. So super crushable. I mean, I think this is not only, I mean, I think it's really good to drink neat, obviously, which is what I do 95% of the time. But this is fantastic in a cocktail, whether it be a old fashioned, a Manhattan, you know. I think more like 2 years ago, these were semi-hard to find. They were not hard to find, semi-hard. They're pretty much, in the last year, about anytime I want one, I can get one. Which I already have like 3 or 4, so I don't actually buy them when I see them because I don't need them. But they're a lot more readily available. I still think the biggest hype is that it's Buffalo Trace and people think it's allocated, which I guess it technically is, but it's not like super allocated or whatever. Now, speaking of which, at least to my knowledge, the most allocated rye whiskey is the Midwinter's Night Dram. And let's freshen up this glass. Simply because, number one, I'm not a rye guy. Number two, I'm not a finished whiskey guy. And that's why, like last year, I passed on the. I was given an opportunity. Hey, would you like a Midwinter's Night Dram? I was like, nah, I think I'm good. And then a buddy of mine that I worked with got a bottle, gave me a sample, and I was like, that was freaking awesome. And I was like, well, I won't make that mistake again. I'll buy next year's, which I did. Now, it's had a little bit of airtime. Got beyond the neck, but I'll be honest, I was hot, especially now at like, what did I pay for this? Like $160, whereas the year before was like 120. Yeah, that's disappointing. And I think the whiskey's disappointing, but let's see, maybe a little airtime and whatever. But that's the thing, is I love the Rendezvous, which is They take the Rendezvous and then finish it in 20 port barrels or whatever. Now, it has opened up on the nose. There's like, oh, the nose is phenomenal. That's like milk, chocolate, Reese's Cup, peanut butter, more chocolate, baking spice, mint, vanilla, caramel, pine. Maybe it just needed a little air. The nose is amazing right now on this. Alright, cheers, Bourbon Quest. I mean, I definitely get that chocolate, that Reese's Cup. I get peanut butter. Is it good? Yes. Is it enjoyable? Yes. Is it outside of your typical either bourbon or rye profiles? Yes. Because I get Reese's Cup, chocolate, vanilla, caramel. I mean, honestly, I actually really enjoy this now. I didn't up until this pour. But that being said, I don't think it's not your traditional rye, it's not your traditional bourbon. But if you like Reese's Cup, chocolate, vanilla, even some s'mores, I think I get on that. Let's stay hydrated. But, well, let me take another sip and then I'll say the but. I still get all those same flavors, a little bit more of mint and mint with peppermint York patty. It's starting to grow on me because I just got some rare time. It's gotten freaking delicious. I mean, there's s'mores, peppermint patty, vanilla, caramel, baking spice. It's grown on me a lot. Really has. But it's taken me a third to get to where I enjoy it, which is okay. I'm not complaining, but at the same time, like, I'm conflicted because on the nose and on the palate, up until tonight, I would have not said either, but no, it's with a little bit of airtime. It's actually gotten amazing. I think my problem with it is, one, it took me a third of the way through to get to that. And then the other factor is the price point. What was it, 160 bucks? I mean, that's hard to justify, especially when I only feel like it maybe is justifiable after a third. I don't know. Because no, it's gotten extremely better. I just don't know if I can justify that price. I actually think it was, I'm going off memory, but I would have not said this before tonight, but I actually think it might be slightly better than last year's, which I had a sample of it and didn't buy. But that bottle was